And now, The Bonfire with Big J. Okerson and Robert Kelly.
Welcome back to The Bonfire, Faction Talk Series XM 103. Great Robert Kelly. I'm Big J. Okerson.
Trump. I mean, dude, if you don't think that's funny as a comedian or anybody likes comedy, that this fucking tub of shit is working McDonald's, fucking doing fries, sticking his head out the window just to troll Kamala Harris is fucking funny, dude.
I love it. Do me a favor, Christine. Buy this $1,000 signed Donald J. Trump edition, and let's get that up somewhere quick.
I want that.
I want that so bad.
Oh, I do.
The Donald J. Trump. I'd say I'll buy all of it.
We should give it to Lou so we can get an X-Acto knife and cut out the Constitution from it.
I should actually, at the airport this weekend, I should buy a Kamala Harris and a Donald Trump chocolate bar.
Oh, did you ever notice that the Donald Trump chocolate bars are all gone and the Kamala Harris bars are all there?
Are they really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I hope I can find a Trump one. I told you, I brought that deck of gold-plated playing cards.
Of Trump?
There's like a $20 deck of cards at a gas station. They had 4 of them. I bought like 2 or 3.
I bought this Trump sneakers. I got the Trump sneakers. Did you? Yeah, I was going to wear them at Skankfest. When we did the Bonfire Live, I was going to wear the Trump sneakers, and I was going to wear one angel wing on the right side, and I forgot the fucking sneakers because Don hid them in a box, and we moved, and I can't.
Damn it! There's the cards I got. They're so great. They're so great. The box is so like.
I do want that pack.
It's a great deck of cards.
He's a lunatic.
It's so nice. But I'm saying the whole thing is like the guy's like a pop culture hero at this point.
Yeah. He is a fucking lunatic. Wow, look at those.
Ooh, that's sharp.
He is such a cheese ball with the gold.
He loves gold.
He loves gold.
Look at this store. This is
Trump store?
Crazy. This is all just him.
Christine, look at Home and Spa, please. I'd like to see.
He put on a house that just sold in, I think it's on Connecticut Sound, whatever. It was millions of dollars, like $38 million it sold for. But the people that bought it had to renovate the entire thing. It was all gilded.
Yeah.
Gold. It was gold. Everything was gold.
He's a fucking cheese ball.
Yeah.
Go to the men's.
Gold is insane.
He likes like the Roman Empire type shit.
Yeah.
Like with the big columns and
It's like Joan Rivers' apartment.
Yeah.
Her and Donald Trump have the same taste.
They do. They have that fucking like early rich person fucking decor.
90s rich.
Yeah, 90s horseshit rich.
Dude, he has the same.
It's like when Anthony Cumia's apartment was the fucking Sopranos rich.
Donald Trump has the same taste as Master P. Like the same problems. He goes, I got gold-plated toilets. Found out it's where Dookie goes. So kind of a waste.
You know, I actually, had a gold-plated toilet? Saddam Hussein.
Did he really?
And I took a shit in it.
Really?
I have a picture of me shitting.
In the gold toilet?
Yeah, we went there with Colin. We went to Saddam's palace.
Did you find out afterwards there was no plumbing, so he just has to live there now? It's like
no,
shitting in a Home Depot toilet?
No, there was plumbing because when they attacked Iraq, they didn't attack any of his palaces because they were all fortified.
Mm-hmm.
So they sent one rocket through his bedroom window just to let him know, and they fucking ran. So they took over all the 36 palaces and put our bases in the palaces.
Nice.
Because it was already had walls and fort. If you look,
that probably doesn't make the locals upset at all, honestly. A pure occupation. Then another country has come and taken the palaces of your evil leader. I bet they love that.
I went by it was called the Perfume Palace, the Rape Palace of Uday.
Nice.
He had a palace that looked like a perfume bottle that he would do all his raping in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But it was gold.
No, that wasn't gold.
Oh, you think your rape room would be gold?
You think so? Because it's easier to clean.
That's where you chintz? This is where he chinches? The rape room? Oh, man, I want to buy so much Trump stuff, but I won't wear any of it.
I do want the pack of cards.
The deck of cards is one of my favorite things that I own.
I have a little pen that you push and it says Trump's things, and I have one that was Hillary, when you could say her things. Trump's was hilarious, dude.
We saw a thing in Philly the other day. I think that was the back windshield of someone's car. It's a picture of Trump. And it's on the actual back windshield wiper. It's his arm with a finger out, so he's doing like no. So funny.
I mean, I don't care who you. I know people hate him they hate him. They think he's a racist, but he's fucking hilarious.
He's hilarious, but as funny as it is to never. I don't know if I've ever seen a politician this universally. Shouldn't say universally. The people that hate him. hate him with such a passion. I equally haven't seen people be this stoked on somebody who's president.
Yeah.
You know, nobody was like, dude, Ronald Reagan's the shit. You ever see this guy's like fucking hunting regiment, dude? Also, this guy, the way he wakes up at what?
I feel like people like Michelle love Ronald Reagan the way people love Trump.
I understand, but I'm not saying people didn't love their politicians. I'm saying it wasn't like a everything in life. Do you know what I mean? Like, this guy's like, some people, their identity is I'm the guy who wears "Make America Great Again." In my circle of people, I'm the guy who has the thing in the yard that says Trump 2024, Trump for Jesus, or whatever the fuck.
Trump is Jesus.
You know what I mean? So it's like that stuff. I'm surprised. That's what blows me away too. I'm like, why are you guys so into him? Like, why can't you go, maybe here's some good things he did in policy. And also, like, what a ridiculous lunatic to say this fucking thing. There's no in between.
It's
They
funny.
go, no, he's just telling you like it is. He goes, no, that was like a weird, dumb thing to say for sure. Why can't there be like any kind of realism?
They call him a racist too, but they went back into his life. Before his wife now, he was
He
dating
fucked so many blacks.
he was dating a black girl, and all these black dudes were talking about, like, they would go to the clubs, the black clubs, and Trump would be there without security when he was just Trump, hanging out at black clubs, banging black chicks. He loved
Black people loved Trump.
They loved him. Fucking loved him.
They love Scarface.
And he loved them.
Huh?
He loved them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, whatever capacity. It's just like, the guy is what he is. I just am so surprised that it's like, it's that people are so stoked on him is what blows my mind. I go, why do you think this guy is like the greatest thing that happened to the presidency? Like, that's what I'm not getting. Like, what is it you love about him that you're like, this guy's the greatest president?
Yeah, it's weird because we had
I don't understand what he's accomplished in his time that you're like, this guy is the shit. I don't think who knows? Kamala Harris might be the best or the absolute worst.
Because he says shit that you're not supposed to say. He's not presidential. And he says that
I find that kind of scary.
It's fucking terrifying. And he says that stuff at he says these funny fucked up things about Kamala being a liar about McDonald's. Then he goes to McDonald's and says, I've worked here 15 minutes. People love that shit about him. That he says stuff that the regular douchebag would say hanging out at a
but
barbecue.
the fact that he has time to do an act that grand to go be bitchy to somebody is fucking the thing where you're like, there's probably better ways to dedicate your time.
But is there?
Maybe not. Not for my entertainment.
What, the
Best
View?
clicks, yeah.
Listen, this goes back to well before you were here on the Bonfire, but one of my favorite things we ever went over on this show was early in the show when Trump got elected. It was when they had the hurricane in Puerto Rico, and he was going down, and the way he was throwing paper towels to people, like he was like shooting baskets, like to families like smashing each other to pieces to try to get some kind of and paper towels for a flooded goddamn whole island. He's like, and bounty for you, and there you go, little Kirkland big bag over there.
Yeah, he's a fucking piece of shit, man.
So that's what I'm saying. It's in the people that love him. It's not policy stuff. They're just like, I fucking love him.
It's, you know what it is?
Yeah, there it is.
It's religion.
He goes, one over there and one over here.
He's throwing them to all hot chicks, by the way.
This symbolic. Pooyah. I see you back there, mama.
He's not throwing one to a dude. He's just all smoking chicks he might bang.
He goes, no, not you. Tits behind you. There it is.
It's a phenomenon. I don't understand. I would never. The people that will transform their house, their car.
I told you, me and Max,
their clothing.
Me and Max in New Hampshire all summer played the Trump game, where when you would see a Trump sign, you just go Trump, Trump, and it was to the point where it was like Trump, 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 Trump. Like certain people's houses had 45 Trump signs.
That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of money.
It was crazy.
And that's your house.
At the end of the summer, it was 3,000 to 2,500. That's how many Trumps.
But to give a shit that much, even when I saw that thing on the car, I was like, you know, it's funny. It tells you Trump, the person who had like the finger waving Trump on their back thing, Hyundai Santa Fe, and it really immediately took me out of. I go, you're willing to? It's like you have a Hyundai Santa Fe, and you're willing to just make your car this joke forever. You're a loser.
It's the same guy who puts antlers on his fucking car during Christmas.
Yes.
Florida's prolific. You'll see they spend thousands on the entire wrap. I remember one guy's truck. This was his business truck. He was a contractor. And it said Trump from the front of the truck to the back in gigantic, like 3-foot tall lettering.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's
Well, they
dedication.
have to tell you about it. That's the thing. They can't.
It's
they
religion.
They need you to know. Like we work with a guy who
That's your
who won't
business,
shut the fuck
too.
up about it. You know what I'm talking about, Jacob?
Lou?
The
Lou?
meetings.
Yeah.
Lou?
Yeah.
Not you, Bob.
No, Lou. I said Lou.
Black Lou?
Oh no.
Guy loves Trump.
Bobby, do this to your
I've
truck.
been thinking, by the way, guys, we have to find a way.
Well,
I know he's not here this week. We have to find a way to get Black Lou a new address, just because it
Oh,
seems like
God.
it's the launching pad to make a black man make it. I've been told. I've been watching a lot of clips that say that if a black man, Hollywood makes him put a dress on, but then you're in. So if we can just get Black Lou an address for some reason, we'll figure it out. There you go, a full wrapped MAGA car.
God,
I mean, what a loop.
that is crazy,
Well, also,
man.
if that's your business car, you're like, don't you just
You're
want
gonna get more business from people that love Trump.
Yeah, but then half the people that don't won't
Not in Florida.
contract you.
That's crazy.
Dude,
I mean,
can't
that's
wait.
fucking crazy.
I don't get
I
it.
want to write things that like I'm gonna get my car wrapped with such crazy things like "Welcome Home," the guy who shot Reagan, like he's out now. Like, well, welcome home. What's it, John? Welcome home, John Hinckley.
Is he out?
I think he's out. Yeah,
No.
I'm almost certain. I think possibly is Mark David Chapman
Oh,
possibly.
he's still in.
He's
not,
in.
No, he's not out.
Yeah, I
But-
think he's still in.
I think Hinckley's out because he
Yeah.
makes music and people love it.
Yoko Ono has to go in every year saying this. Don't let this guy out.
Look at these raps.
at
Officer,
that.
please. I had no idea the T was twisted.
Nice.
Trump giving double middle fingers.
Yeah, dude.
They are.
I would
raps.
absolutely. Let me tell you something. I would absolutely wrap my trunk in a picture of Donald Trump giving Dane Cook super fingers, dude, and then have really small in the back, and then be like Donald Trump, and then be like Bobby Kelly, Jay Davis, Gary Goldman, really small. Hawk Tua.
It's
Damn,
fine.
dude.
Spit on that thing with Trump double middle fingers.
Christine, I'm looking at the price of this, and I'm telling you, if I end up getting a truck, I'm really batting around getting it wrapped with something awesome.
It's only $49 for a Huck Tour Trump double fingers.
That's
You can
great.
spend thousands on raps.
That's
Yeah,
nuts.
yeah.
Thousands. And
To get it done perfectly.
That's great.
Yeah.
Let me get my shoes after the.
My shoes.
Let me get my shoes.
That's crazy. Look at all those. What's that one say? We love Trump.
We love Trump. People.
Stand.
All the people I can't stand. We love in this car. We love Trump because he pisses off all the people I can't stand.
Man, that's a
I think-
that's
I think
an
that's
accident
it.
waiting to happen. Reading all that.
But I think that's it too. I think you're saying why do people love him so much? I think it's because the people they hate, the kind of people they hate, it pisses them off.
Absolutely, and I'm worried that we possibly talked about this week on live shows, already because our Terminator timeline's here. But I've been going into these. Christine was watching with me the other day. These rabbit holes. It's exactly right. I don't like either people, but the people that the Trump people are like, I love that he pisses off the people I hate. There's these guys. It's a little weak. I've talked to Dave Smith about it too. I'm like, it's a little weak of a thing they do. Like these like smarmy like conservatives go to college camp. Ben Shapiro does a very similar thing. They're entertaining for sure, but it's like you go and argue with a bunch of 19 and 20-year-olds who are like, because if I say that I'm a man tomorrow, you should respect that I'm a man. And they just sit there and go, you sound like a buffoon. And there's a bunch of people behind them going like, yeah, you sound like a buffoon. But it's like they just lure these college kids to a microphone on campuses. And they're just like,
I know-
well,
I know
women are
exactly.
going to get, coat hanger abortions if it's this way.
Charlie,
and then he starts giving, Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk is the guy
That's
who
the
does
one.
that.
That's the person I'm
And
thinking of
he's-
particularly.
He's very a religious, very American Constitution, and he'll go up. But he's very smart.
He dismantles these kids, but you're
Dismantles them.
dismantling children,
Yeah.
dumb children. I know their takes. I know they're going to come out and be like, and then he's just like, well, I don't know. I guess I'm important enough for you to come up here. But the one girl, the reason I even found him and started going deep in his thing, because they keep saying, which by the way I think is hyped up and not true. They go, this girl wanted his thing to get flagged so bad that while he's talking to her, she keeps trying to like show her like the top of her nipples so the video would get flagged. I'm like, I don't think that's what she's doing at all. I think she is. I don't feel bad for her because you're the dumb bitch who fucking stepped up to a microphone to be like, I'm gonna school this guy, and then you got fucking handled because you're a dummy. But like he's just like, look at you, and it's just like the piling on like bullying of it is just a thing where it's like, buddy, we all get it. You just talk to this dumb chick who's like, there's 77 genders. Like, disregard her. Like,
Yeah,
you're gonna sit here and argue that with her? She's a dope.
But
I
kids.
disagree. I
Here's
think
the thing.
colleges are a cesspool now.
Colleges,
They are.
listen, but they're kids. They don't have any experience. They're just going on what they think they know. Penn and Teller, remember Bullshit?
Sure.
That show, they have an episode, one of the greatest episodes, one of my favorite episodes. They went on the college campuses and they had a guy with a clipboard and they went up to everybody, hey, we want to ban this thing, and it's in the school, it's in the cafeteria, and they were like, yeah, and they all signed this petition to ban it, and it was just another word for water because they don't fucking know. So 30 kids signed a petition
To ban water
to
in
ban
school,
water
right.
because they don't know what the fuck that name for water is. They just want to be part of something. They're tribal. They want to do the right thing and be part of something and be on the right side of history, and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Everyone's afraid of just being a fucking ant on a goddamn log, waiting to just live your life and die.
I don't know what that means.
No, you do. I'm saying it's
not you.
They want to believe.
It's me.
They want to believe they're like part of something greater. They're like, wow, we really stood up for the thing and made like change. And it's like, just get your education and go get a good job.
I just
and
miss
enjoy your life and go to vacation and have a family.
I miss
and whatever.
colleges when they were fucking party places.
Yes.
When you went there and they went to learn, get an education, get laid.
Then
and party.
collegeinvasion.com would come in and a bunch of porn stars would fuck at your frat house.
I mean, that's a little too far, but yes, I understand what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
Date rape.
I mean, listen.
Don't forget date rape.
I mean, date rape. I mean, there's levels. Right, Christine?
I was just drugging girls and fucking them. I don't mean to call it rape.
Well, I don't like date rape. I mean,
No, college also, it's like these kids, it's the first time they're out of their parents' house. They're all like rebelling against, they're mostly conservative families.
Right.
So, it's just a bunch of fucking idiotic children.
But they don't know.
They're just trying to,
and it sucks because now you put them in a position in the last fucking 10, 15 years to be more grown up than they should have been. They should be having a fucking blast. They should be partying, getting their schooling in, fucking having fun, and date rape.
But these also, it's like people...
I wouldn't be disappointed in Isabella if she was like, well, I'm voting for either one. If she was like, I'm voting for Kamala because like Trump seems like scary. Or if she was like, I'm voting for Trump because blah, blah. I go, sure. Whatever your reasons are probably aren't even valuable much anyway.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's like you're a 22-year-old kid.
Geez,
like you're not really in the workforce like that yet where you're contributing to the thing. I'm like, who cares?
I had to yell at Max because he saw like some Trump stuff and heard somebody talking about Trump, and he was like, Trump's the guy. I was like, dude, you don't know anything about this. You don't know Biden. You got to wait until you're older to learn about Biden, learn about politicians, learn about their things. You have no idea. And I was like, why is Trump good? He's like, I don't know. I go, you can't just say Trump. You have to know what the fuck you're talking about. Half of our family is voting for, most of our family is voting for Biden. We've come from Boston Democrats, Catholic Democrats. Doesn't matter. They're voting for fucking Biden no matter what. I mean Harris now, of course, yes. Back then when he said this, it was Biden and Harris. But it's like my Uncle Tommy is the only Trump dude in the family. And, nobody hates him. It's just Tommy. He's fucking Republican Tommy. Right. Everybody else who gives a shit. But now it's like this fucking religion that people... Like back in the day when Christians hated rock and roll and sex and all that shit, and they would what was that group that used to stand out in front of people's homes and like veterans and say and fags.
Westboro Baptist Church.
Fucking fags.
Those guys rule.
God hates fags.
Those guys are
what
wild.
An asshole, man. What a bunch of fucking lunatics.
They did one of the smartest moves I've ever seen somebody do. It's such a scumbag move. They frontline their own children. So the children go out there, and then they have a thing like, we're just putting our freedom of speech out there, and then this savage came by and threw a drink at us and got it all over my little boy. And it's like, you brought your little boy out to this hostile environment to say things you told him to say. You know what I mean?
You can't.
Gay people are going to hell. And when you hear an 8-year-old saying it, like, that's such abuse to the kids to put them in that scenario.
Unfucking believable. Those people used to make me angry. That used to get me.
Well, I think again,
God hates fags.
I think they're pieces of shit, but I found the situation so funny because, like, again, it's the peeling back of like, man, as I'm an adult, I go, I guess because I never feel like an adult. even though I'm almost 47.
You don't dress like one.
I don't dress like one either.
Not
But
at all.
I'm saying I don't feel like an adult, and then you realize, like, oh, because none of us actually are.
No.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like an adult. It's the same thing that somebody in their 50s, like the Westboro Baptist Church, you can get a group of adults to think it's not, to defend with pride, like, what? We're allowed to go to a soldier's funeral and sit outside and say he's going to hell because he's gay in front of his whole family. That's speech. You're like, somebody near my age thinks that's like a thing you should do at some
Crazy.
point without having a personal vendetta hatred against that soldier. You're just going, they're fighting for a gay man's queer war.
Well, that's like the
crazy.
people that took religion. With religion, any religion is supposed to give you peace. It's supposed to give you a moral compass. And the people that took the religion, like in front of the abortion clinics, and they would. I remember when I had.
Bobby, I don't know if you've ever seen gay sex happen. It's far from peaceful. It's not what I would describe as peaceful.
when I took my girl Kristen, she had to get an abortion. I had to go with her. It was fucking abusive what they did to her.
Because it wasn't your baby.
Well, it was my baby. I think it was. We were walking in, and they had all these signs of fucking, and they were screaming at her, calling her a fucking sinner. She's going to hell. She's crying. She's going in here. She doesn't want to do this. Mm-hmm. She has to
forced
fucking
her to,
do it.
yeah.
I forced her to do it, and I paid half.
You said, look, the baby dies or both of you die.
Yeah.
Is what you said.
And I'm paying half. I'm
And
giving
then-
you 160, and we're even.
And you pull up to the protesters, and you reached across her to open the passenger door and kicked her pregnant ass out right in front of the place. And he said, "Have at her, fellas."
I just don't understand why you see young girls, going into something to do something. It's already fucking horrific to make the decision to do this, because you can't. You know you're not going to be
Generally
a
speaking, sure, yeah.
good mom. You can't do it, and you're going to stand out in front and make them feel worse. That's fucking crazy to me.
Well, I get their other side is they're going like, then just put the baby up for adoption. Like somebody can take care of that baby.
Who?
Sure. I'm not arguing either direction.
And if she has a baby, Jay, I'm not fucking her anymore.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
No,
dude.
I'm kidding.
It's gross.
It is gross.
Ew.
I could have a black child.
Yeah, you could, but thank God you didn't. I guess thank God for you, you didn't.
Jay's daughter is.
That's okay. We need to get a little color into this lineage.
You really do.
The Okersons particularly. Oh no, actually, don't worry. My girl cousins in Florida are definitely holding up their end of Black Hawk. Everything's gonna be fine, everybody.
Nice.
It's gonna be fine. Guys, Florida's gonna be A-okay. As long as my chubby white cousins continue to have vaginas, a Black Hawk will have a home. In Florida.
I just think it's fire. They always have to. Those are the people that you wind up fucking hating. Those extremists. They take something that's supposed to be good and make it terrible, and they fuck the rest of us. Because the rest of us don't give a shit about this. Most of us are just living our lives. We don't care about any of this shit. I think Trump is hilarious. Fucking Harris is a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But who I'm going to be in Cuba.
And we get into all this, by the way.
I'm going to be in Cuba when all this shit is going down with Ari, smoking cigars, watching this fucking place
In the
burn.
dark.
I like
burn
that,
down.
Bobby. I don't know what's happened in your early 50s, but you've decided to become an adventurer of terrifying places. Me and Bobby are going to go we're trying to recover a relic from a Mayan ruins. I don't know. I'll be back in a week.
Buddy, I've always been like this. I went to Guatemala twice.
Yeah, I'm taking Yamanika and Bobby Lee to the woods to go fist fight nature. You guys cover it for a week?
Cuba's not dangerous.
No, it's totally. Are you going to Guantanamo Bay?
No, we're going to Cuba.
Yo, yeah, it sounds terrifying.
Havana, that's you're staying in
Havana's not dangerous.
Well, are you going to the part where Havana Nights Dirty Dancing happened?
I hope so. It's on the list.
I hope so too.
If me and Ari come back dancers.
Yeah.
Dancers of the night.
You do that. Next summer, I'm going to go have original Dirty Dancing where I'm going to go fuck a 15-year-old at the Catskills.
At a dried up lake.
At a dried up lake. And then I'm going to get a back alley abortion for my friend. Damn, that was a dark movie, Dirty Dancing. Had a lot going on. Fucking underage sex. A father having to deal with his daughter being a slut with some adult. Damn.
I mean, all those movies were fucking terrible.
So bad.
All of the movies we grew up with, and all the rock stars were pieces of shit too. They all have terrible things in their past.
That girl a couple years back, I heard on Stern, one of the famous groupies, and she was like, I was 15, I got gangbanged by the Allman Brothers in the Beacon Theater, like fucking dressing room. You're like,
Yeah, but they told that story as a good thing for years.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. And she's still telling it as a good thing. It's just society's not going to be okay with that, as they shouldn't be.
What was it? The Red Hot Chili Peppers guy did it and then wrote a song about banging an underage girl.
Really?
Yeah. Dude, she was 15.
So it was 17.
Oh, is that what Under the Bridge is about?
It was on
yeah.
the. It was on
But
the,
a decent
I think legally.
time, if you tell people, we'll both get in trouble. I don't ever want to be locked in prison. I'm gonna start involving people we don't know. Did you actually hear? I think Bert Kreischer actually like raped 3 girls. Did you hear Bert Kreischer raped Foxy Brown? I heard that happened at a thing. Oh, there she is.
I mean, that's just nuts.
Hey everyone, we met at Dane Cook's game night.
Yeah. Even Dane would be like, "That's some crazy shit."
Yeah. Hey guys, it's bring your own teen night to Dane Cook's house. It's going to be so great.
It looks like he's fondling his daughter.
I know we
It's
got to take
crazy.
I know we got to take a break, and we are going to be airing. I interviewed Donnie Wahlberg. We had a good time. I had a good time bullshitting with him. Bobby was out of town filming comedy camp, so I was able to get him in here still, and we sat down. I'll give you a fun fact.
On that title around my way, but I'll take it. I'll take it.
I just found out today how far I would walk for an interview with Donnie Wahlberg. 1.3 miles. Traffic was screwed up all down the West Side Highway, and we jumped out of our Uber and walked across town.
Yeah,
we had to get here.
When it's like that, you could walk 10 miles quicker.
Much faster.
Than you could drive it.
Oh.
Yeah, when it ain't moving in this city, it ain't moving.
Where is it do you live now?
I live an hour outside of Chicago with my wife, Jenny.
Oh, nice.
And I don't know. We ended up there. Well, I was going to say I don't know how we ended up there, but I do know. She grew up in Chicago. She loved it. She wanted to raise her son out there, and we met. She was working here in New York for a few years.
We know Jenny very well. We used
Yeah.
to do crossover stuff with our shows all the time.
For sure. And we would travel every other weekend to Illinois, where she was staying out in the northwest suburbs. And I fell in love with it. She loved it. My kid fell in love with it. Her son loved it. So we just moved out there.
That's what everyone's kind of finding out, I think, now, is that if you live near an airport, it really doesn't matter where you live. Like if you're touring, it doesn't make any difference at all. Do you miss Boston a ton?
I get back enough, so I don't miss it per se because I'm there a lot. You know, I go to a lot of basketball games.
I know. I've seen you use those
Sorry,
fantastic
everyone.
seats.
Sorry, everyone. Yeah.
I know. I'm a Sixers guy.
You know, I like your guys this year.
Yeah,
If
me
they
too.
stay healthy.
Paul George can keep those pecker legs not broken.
You got to keep a lot of guys healthy on that team. But if they do, scary team. Scary team.
Absolutely. I could talk to you, I feel like, for 5 hours because I'm 47 years old this year. And, I mean, New Kids on the Block fell so into my wheelhouse. Right. It was such an interesting time to go because, one, if you were a boy, all the girls immediately loved you guys in school. So you had to hate them. And then behind closed doors, just, please don't go, girl.
Yeah. Or those daring few kids who would just embrace it. That's what I did with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
So in freshman year in high school, Michael Jackson was, it was, I guess it was 1983. Thriller was the biggest thing in the world. And every girl in school obviously loved Michael Jackson. But very few of the boys were walking around saying, yeah, Michael Jackson. And I got a Michael Jackson pin for my birthday and the Thriller album. And I wore the pin to school, and every girl in school was like, oh my God, you like Michael? And every girl wanted to talk to me. And it was like, oh wow, this is cool. And so when New Kids came out, I saw the same phenomenon happen where all the girls loved us and the boys were more reluctant. I was like, one of these kids got to smarten up, man. Like, be the only guy at the whole concert with 15,000 girls.
Did you grew up in a pretty rough town? Would you say in Boston?
Yeah, Dorchester is
Dorchester,
pretty tough.
For sure. Yeah, being Bobby Kelly, the co-host of this show, is from. I don't think it's from Dorchester. Where's Bobby from exactly?
Bobby Kelly sounds like he's from somewhere in Boston.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Bobby Kelly.
The only thing we agree on is Mike's roast beef.
Yeah, there you go.
It is the best. But being in a place like that, when you're coming out, did you have to be talked to in any way, or were you seeking out doing like singing and dancing stuff? Because it feels like a place where you'd probably be more drawn into like exclusively like hip hop or something like that. Or you're going to get tested in the neighborhood for who's this singing and dancing guy?
I was drawn into hip hop right out of the gate, in the late 70s when hip hop started coming. Of course, in Boston, we really only got like Rapper's Delight, so we didn't really know a lot of the other hip hop that was, probably more people were more aware of in New York,
like Queens and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So once I heard the first rap record I ever heard, and then I started hearing Curtis Blow, and then I started hearing Melly Mel. Like I was all in from the get go, and then Run DMC, of course, made my whole life make sense musically because I was hip hop and R&B in school, and I was rock and roll at home, and then Run DMC came and I was like, oh my God, this band makes more sense than anything musically that's ever spoken to me in my life. God, I'm sorry.
Well, we're also too. I don't think that me and you were too far apart in age to even say like it was a great time. I feel like to grow up because influence from everywhere. Mm-hmm. Like that's what I thought was interesting. It's like you knew a little bit of country from this person in your life, and you kind of took it all in and liked all of it. You weren't like one genre driven.
For sure, and that same thing with me. Like I was the first member of New Kids on the Block with my brother Mark, and he quit after like 3 months because he couldn't sing. And he didn't want to be bothered like practicing and learning. I found the studio.
Talking about, dude, Feel My Heat? Classic.
Yeah, right. That's the thing. The Dirk Diggler performance, that's how he really sings. I got demos from back then. He don't sound any better than that. He didn't have to fake Dirk Diggler singing. He sucked. It was terrible. But he also, I found salvation in the recording studio, right? So I went, one of the first times I went, the producer didn't even show up, just Mark and I went, and there was an 808 drum machine sitting there. And I found a chord, I plugged it into an amp, I started being like a little engineer on my own, and I got the 808 drum machine to work. And no one was in the guy's house. It was just waiting for him to show up. And I started making beats, and it was like, oh my God. Like if I did nothing else when I met this music producer, the guy Maurice Starr who discovered New Edition, I would have been happy. Like I got to make beats on an 808 drum machine. The first beat I made, I replicated Planet Rock, right?
Yeah.
So I just, because it was 808 drum machine.
To see if you could.
Yeah, but going back to your previous question about music and getting pulled into it, I had so many, like you said, different music, so much different musical exposure. And when I met Maurice Starr, I didn't really think about being a singer, but I would break dance and rap. I actually rapped. That's how I won him over. I did like a freestyle rap in the room, and
he had to be like a white rapper
in 1984. That was not very common, right? And then he gave me notes to sing. I wasn't tone deaf. I hit all the notes, and he was like, all right, let's do this. And it's there were parts of me that wanted to rap more. Like I always wanted New Kids to collaborate with rappers, and at the time that didn't make sense to people. And then years later you see like Justin Timberlake or whomever does. I was like, guys, I was telling you that 40 years ago. But it doesn't matter. It's not a sob story.
Water under the bridge.
It's just interesting thing about the music business though is as much as I was a fan of hip hop and I was in a boy band doing pop songs with R&B influence, and I had my own little hip hop energy.
No, you were the crew of the guys. You'd be like, that's fine.
Well, I was outspoken about what I liked, and I loved like Public Enemy was one of my favorite rap groups of all time and stuff. But what I found is people in the industry, like they appreciated my love of hip hop, and all the guys pretty much loved hip hop anyway. It wasn't just me, but they also appreciated us for who we were. It wasn't like we didn't meet like great famous rappers and they'd be like, oh, that's that corny boy band. They'd be like, oh, you guys, we love you, man. Like, and like
that's what I was going to ask that almost. Like, did you get like respect from people? Were you worried like when you guys would meet like a Method Man? Did he be like, these guys?
I did multiple episodes of Blue Bloods with Method Man, and we text all the time. It was a funny story with him and I, because his son's name is spelt like mine, and he pocket dials me all the time, and he hangs up because he's calling his son, and he always writes back, sorry man, I'm calling my son again. I'm so glad you're checking in on him. Like it's like we have this funny thing, but no, but
that's as adults also. That's like more, I'm almost saying like in the moment,
back then,
like being like nervous to meet these heroes and be like, oh man, they're gonna think we're like singer dancer kids.
Every time I would meet someone, it would be another pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
It's like we met Public Enemy. We were with Flavor Flav a few weeks ago at a show, and he came out on stage, and we brought him on stage at the American Music Awards in 1991. He came on stage with us. We did this big protesting the Iraq war performance, and like we had 30 dancers. J-Lo was one of the dancers. She was completely unknown. She met Keenan Ivory Wayans that night.
For In Living Color, yeah, Fly Girls.
And next thing you knew, she was a Fly Girl. So like the first time we met Flavor Flav, though, we were reminiscing with him. Like, he literally remembered. He said, we were doing a show in San Francisco. It was New Kids, Salt and Pepper, Public Enemy, I think Digital Underground, all hip-hop groups and New Kids, which that's how we started. We did tours all around the country, usually with hip-hop groups.
When you guys were unknown still.
When we were unknown, yeah. We were just starting to try to find our way. Like, we literally toured with JJ Fad. We did West Coast tours.
Did you guys never go out with New Edition?
Never.
That's interesting.
That's the bucket list.
Yeah, I was going to say that seems like that would have been like the perfect launching.
It will happen.
Because that's the plan, correct? Like that's the plan of Maurice Starr was to like make like white New Edition.
Well, yeah, I think his plan was, having grown up in the era he grew up in, he saw the Jackson 5 come out, saw how successful they were, and then he saw the Osmonds come out and saw how successful they were. So I think for him, it was him and New Edition had a falling out. And he was like, what do I do next? And it was like, well, I can't do another New Edition. Like, I'm not topping that. It was like, I'll do a new Osmonds. That was really his mindset.
Yeah. Did you know you can dance right away? Or did they have to show you that?
No, I came in, that was my audition. Like, me and Mark were doing windmills and backspins, and Mark was spinning on his head. Maurice Starr told the story of when, as I said, Mark quit. It was Mark and I were the only two members of New Kids on the Block for the first 5 months, and then he quit. Right. So he didn't like going to singing lessons. He just wanted to run around with his friends and do dumb stuff. And I wanted to go to the studio and make music. So I remember Maurice used to always say, though, when Mark quit, he'd be like, damn. He was like, with every head spin, I was going 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. Like he was like, this little kid's going to make us a fortune. And Mark quit and it was just me. Right. So yeah, I think, I grew up in the music business, really. I grew up learning in recording studios, and it's still a process that I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still discovering new things. I've learned now as an actor has made me a better performer and a better singer, right? All this acting all these years, I perform songs more now than I did. Back then it was like, let me just sing the part. Now it's like,
stage comfort in general.
Let me act the part. Let me sing this song with an intention, right? And give it a purpose instead of just like singing the words as I wrote them or as someone else wrote them.
Are you still loving it, the touring?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's
you able to bring the family and stuff?
Oh yeah. As much as we can. Jenny and I both work a lot, but it's the whole second incarnation of New Kids on the Block with all the original members, of course. There's no like replacements or anything. People ask that sometimes, but no.
Danny Wood looks exactly the same, but he always looked 35.
So when he was 15, he looked 35, and now he still looks 35.
When all the girls, like the boys in the thing, like whenever a girl was into Danny Wood, you're like, oh, you got dad issues or something. He was always jacked and 35. He's still jacked. Yeah, man. No, I say he looks the same because he always looked 35.
I'm in good shape. That guy is in incredible Hulk shape constantly. But it's like being able to do. You just said you're 47, right? So like every time I walk on stage, it's literally like I can't believe they're still screaming. They're still supporting us. I still love doing it, and it's really like. Being able to go back in time with what you know now,
also, how from up above lucky that you guys like stopped for the years and then came back right after P. Diddy. Mm-hmm. How fantastic was that? You got to leapfrog that completely.
We leapfrogged a lot of things, not just him. We leapfrogged a lot of things, and yeah, look, it's all been. Higher power at work, man. Honestly, it's if you think about it, like my childhood was spent in a house with 9 kids. My grandmother lived in our basement. My mother and father were fighting all the time. Everybody was running away and getting in trouble, and alcohol and drugs were everywhere. And when my parents split up, my role in the family became to bring everyone together and try to just keep everyone happy. And now I'm talking about when I was 11. Right. Yeah. That just became my role. I was planning the holidays like, all right, Christmas Eve, you be at mom's house at 8:00. I'm telling my 21-year-old siblings, no, you're not going to the bar with your friends. You're going to be at dad's at 9:00. All right, well, let's go. And I learned then how to bring people together and have a good time and make us all feel better about in tough times. And I look at what I'm doing right now. That's what I'm doing for a living. I get 15,000 people together with my band. I plan these crazy events with our manager, and we put on these shows and these tours, and literally people get to put all the pain and struggles in their life aside and go have a phenomenal time for a few hours with us. And for those fans who follow me on social media and stuff, they get to do that every time I do a post. It's like literally like, hey, hope this makes you feel better. Hope this makes you laugh. It's like it's really like what I learned to survive in my household as a kid is what has steered me through my life, and it's what I do for a living now. Just and now it's work.
Well, I wanted to ask because after when I've asked Joey Fatone about this also, is like having a moment, years of life where it's like there's you guys need tank escorts to get to hotels in Japan. Mm-hmm. And then there comes the year where it starts like coming like down, where it's not as big. And then the next thing was The Sixth Sense, would you say? Like the first acting thing that people were like, holy shit. That's
yeah, I'd probably say that was a game changer for sure.
But so the in between, I don't know how much time there was in between there, but did you have like oh shit, like how do you get it back to see like as you're older and you guys are touring and filling arenas still, and it's like that feeling when you don't know that's going to happen 20 years from then, is there like moments where you're like, shit, like I may have like maybe should have gone to college.
No, for sure. And you think about college, well, I thought about it. I was like, all right, do I keep... So just to give some context to it and to still answer the question, when we kind of decided to take a break as New Kids and just go our separate ways, it was 1994. And...
So was there no fall really? Was there no like dip down?
No, there was a dip. We were dipping. We were in the dip, and Jonathan had left the band, and Jordan was thinking about doing a solo album, and I was like, I'll keep going or not. Like I had produced my brother Mark's records. I had like a #1 record that I wrote and produced, and a hit album I produced. Like,
Donnie D's on the backup.
Donnie D was on the backup for sure. So I was like, I got a whole bunch of things to do. I'm good. If you guys want to take a break, I'm good, because I'm going to go do all these things I want to do, just including acting and stuff. I'm sorry,
Joe. I just want to sidebar before I forget it that the youth today are doomed. My friend who goes in the row with me to like film me is 26, and recently in a restaurant found out that Marky Mark is Mark Wahlberg, and I'm like, that's crazy. Like that's a crazy thing to not know.
I was driving with this kid who's his brother is a roadie for New Kids, and so now he's like, hey, can you help my brother with some odd jobs and stuff? Yeah, his little brother, he's 18, and I'm listening to Sirius XM. I'm listening to Rock the Bells radio.
Nice.
And Wild Wild West by Kool Moe Dee comes on, and I'm like, you know who this is? And he was like, no. I said, you ever hear this song? And he goes, no. And I said, you probably heard Will Smith version from the movie Wild Wild West. And he goes, what? I was like, you never saw the movie Wild Wild West? I mean, it wasn't a very good movie, but I was like, you know that movie. He was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I realized even that.
He has another remake.
Even that he wasn't born yet. He don't even know the remake. I don't even know if he knows who Will Smith is. Like, these kids, it's so
You
wild.
have kids?
I do.
Did you, how old are they?
31 and 23. And my stepson is now 22.
Wow. My daughter's 22, and almost like through osmosis, or just thank God it just happened. I didn't think growing up that she was picking up anything I was kind of putting in her, like music-wise. And then she just like hit like 18, 19, and then it wasn't lame to admit she liked the things, and now she has such a knowledge of music. I'm so appreciative of that. That's a scary thing. How much people have no context of history of anything.
It's true, and sometimes it's okay, and sometimes it's a head scratching. But just to answer your Joey Fatone question, sorry, because I go off the rails sometimes.
Oh, me too.
And deviate. Yeah, I like it. It's good. Listen, I'm all about it. Just dangle a conversation in front of me, and I'm following it. But in '94 when we broke up, I thought I was the new kid most prepared for this. I was like, I'm producing records. I'm like, I'm on fire right now. You guys, I produced like a good portion of the last album we did before the breakup, and the producers were Donnie Wahlberg, Teddy Riley, Narada Michael Walden, it's like, yeah, I'm in that class. Like, I'm making records, guys. Not that level of Teddy Riley. Forgive me for saying that. I didn't mean it that way. Or Narada Michael Walden. But like, I was doing.
But you're working, so it's like you have the
yes.
The net.
Yes, but the group was officially broken up. I walked into the bathroom in my house. I looked in the mirror, and I realized it was the first time since the age of 14 I wasn't in the band. I wasn't waking up as a member of that band with that goal to look forward to. Even when I was the only guy in the band, I knew every day. I'm like, I'm making records with Maury Starr. I'm doing this. This is my life.
You didn't think it would strike you, but it did.
It struck me, and I looked in the mirror, and I realized I was literally, since the day we got famous, part of me didn't evolve. So part of me did. I traveled the world. I became successful. I learned about things and experiences and places I never thought I would ever experience or come to know in my lifetime. And at the same time, emotionally, something hadn't evolved. Like, I didn't go through things that people were going through at that age. 18 to 22, college years. That was gone.
Or just normal social activity where everyone's in the same playing field. You've been the king in every room since you were 15.
I wanted to go to Puerto Rico for the weekend. I didn't know how to book a ticket. Yeah. Someone did it for me every time I ever did it. I didn't know what to do. There were just so many things I didn't know how to do it. Like, yeah, it was like, shit, man. And so the real point of your
question, I feel if Christine ever leaves me, it's like we have to do an Amazon order. I go, I don't even know where to begin doing that.
Exactly. We get in these habits of some people lose their minds and become entitled and, and lose touch with reality. I thought I did a real good job of staying in touch with reality until there was no more New Kids. And I was like, okay, I'm not ready for reality. I had to re-enter and go through a process. And fortunately, before we reunited, and I think most of my bandmates would say the same, I got to grow up. I got to struggle. I got to worry. What am I going to do next? Am I ever going to, if I want to stay in this industry, is there anything, can I be successful the way I was? Can I be successful as an actor? I started that process of auditioning and trying to get in movies and stuff like that. Will I end up, I knew a guy who used to produce big records, and now he was doing like the background music on Sports Center. I was like, maybe I could do that. Maybe I can make beats. Like, there's a time when you don't know what's going to happen next. And look, I got in touch with reality about, okay, well, maybe I don't have to be famous and successful anymore. Maybe I can go to college and learn other things. Fortunately now I can afford to go to college. I can do certain things, right, that I couldn't do when I was 18 because I'd been successful.
You batted on the idea of just like regular life?
Yes. It happened. And even when I was doing movies, I'd get a movie part, and then I wouldn't get nothing for like 8 months, and I'd do something else, and it was like, shit, man, like, I don't know, maybe I'm just gonna move to a small town and just live. Like, and I don't know what career I'm gonna find, but I'll find something that can support, I mean, I had money. It wasn't like I was destitute or anything like that, but that's also like a cloud that hangs over your head too, I'm sure, for a lot of people. It's like, because you don't want to be that guy that was like really successful and now like you're like on the cover of every newspaper in the country because you went bankrupt, right? It's like it was
or losing your mind or doing crazy shit.
Yeah, and I remember 1990, I think it was 90 or 91. I was running to the airport. I was going to LA to do something, and I'm running through the Boston airport, and I get to the gate, and the gate closed, and they were like, "You missed the flight." I know what I was doing. For the listeners who know New Kids, I'll say exactly what I was going to do. I was going to record my voiceover for the Indiana Jones thing I did in the New Kids Universal Studio special. Like, it was this big TV special we did. And I was running to the airport to go to LA to do my voiceover. The door closed. They wouldn't let me get on the plane. I was like, the plane's still there. They were like, yeah, it's too late. And I'm like, but I'm one of the New Kids. They're like, yeah, too late.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, and as I was walking,
it doesn't work.
Well, I'm walking away from the gate, and this guy looks at me and holds up the front page of the Boston paper, the Boston Herald, and he says, "Why don't you have your own plane?" And it's me, my face, next to Madonna, Oprah Winfrey, and somebody else and it says New Kids #1 on the Forbes list. So
why don't you have your own plane?
My face is on top of Oprah, at the peak of Oprah, and all these. I mean, just it's crazy.
You should have been like, because I'm a straight white male, and that's what happens in this country to people like us.
No, I was like, shit. Like,
I didn't assume that's what you said.
No, it's not. No, what I thought instantly was, wow, it could be a long fall from that perch.
Sure.
You know, it's like, why is my face next to them? Like, it's like, I got to really manage myself carefully because, you know, it also, yeah, we were very successful, but it was also divided by 5. Divided by Maurice Starr, who was a part of the equation, and managers and agents and lawyers. And it's like.
And I'm sure it wasn't all perfect. It's probably people that fucked you guys over and shit like that a bunch.
Yeah, fortunately, none of those guys in our inner circle, you know, our managers were great. Maurice Starr was great. Love him and owe him, you know, so much. Yeah, just I mean, and he believed in me, and you know, when no one else in the world did.
They're pacing outside. They want you to go.
No, we're good. We're chatting away. If you gotta go, I gotta go.
No, I don't have to go.
Well, I was just gonna say, it didn't like drive me, but I definitely, you know, I remember like VH1 used to always have, where are they now?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Rock stars, and I was like, the guy from like Skid Row or something was like putting up billboards, like when you roll them, like rolling paper. I was like, yeah, I can't do that, man. I can't be that. I can't do that. I gotta keep going, keep working.
It's funny.
I will find my way to what I'm supposed to do.
It's funny that you were like out of the spotlight for a while, and then when you come back, it's the Sixth Sense part, and everyone's like, what is this motherfucker been through? And you're like, it's a character, man. Well, it's like you're playing like a lunatic with like white lips. Arguably the most important character in the movie.
Yeah, I thought it was on paper.
Yeah.
When I read the script, I was like, you know, and when I got the part, I didn't even audition. They just gave it to me. I'm like, no one will hire me in Hollywood. Now you're hiring me. I'm 30. You're hiring me to play a 15-year-old junkie who's out of his mind.
Yeah, can you lose 115 pounds?
Right. I don't know. Night Shyamalan had the Sixth Sense when he cast me, for sure. But I lost so much weight and was going through this crazy process to prepare for the movie. I hid in a park. I was in a park one night, and I said, I'm going to go out and like just be the guy. I was in Philadelphia in Rittenhouse Square Park, and I ran and hid under some bushes. Like, my friend was with me. We were like rehearsing the lines, and he's like, hey, I'll just be your friend, and you're Vincent, the character. And I'm like, and in my mind, I was like, I wouldn't know if I have a friend or if he's a ghost. I ran, right? So I ran and hid under these bushes, and now I'm under the bushes, like emaciated, like look like shit, smell like shit. I hadn't showered in a month, like I was fully immersed in getting ready for this movie. And I'm like, now I can't come out. Because if I come out crawling from this bush, there's a beat cop walking through the park. If he sees me, he's going to be like, what in the hell are you doing coming out from under the bush? And then if he realizes who I am, I look like a mess. Yeah. He's going to be like, this is what happened to Donnie Wahlberg.
It was the ultimate fall.
The ultimate fall.
No, it's a character. Mm-hmm.
But you know, it helped me with the character because it made me more scared. I stayed under the bush for like 4 hours. And then when it was like 4 a.m, I crawled out. And I was so terrified, I actually felt like the character must feel, like hiding from ghosts.
I love how many people possibly just walked by and had no idea. He goes, hey, in that bush right there?
Yeah.
Donnie Wahlberg, emaciated and smelling like shit.
Yeah. Well, after a while, I got a little comfortable. Like, I took off my belt. I said, now let me pretend I'm shooting up heroin and see what it, like what it was. So I actually went through the act of pretending to shoot up heroin. I didn't have any heroin, of course. And no syringe. I had nothing for those listening. I don't want this to go the wrong way. But I literally said, let me feel what it would feel like to take my belt, you know, tourniquet, see some veins, and pretend this is what I have to do to like medicate myself to survive from what it feels like to feel ghosts. And it really got me ready for the movie, and it was almost an accident that it happened.
When you stand across from Bruce Willis and that, you've done so much in music at that point that probably there's very few people making you starstruck in music anymore. And not even so much starstruck, because I'm sure meeting Bruce Willis isn't that crazy of a thing. More like you're in his arena now, like you're acting like up like with him. Like, is that terrifying? Is that scary? Does that make you feel like that on stage first time again, or first big show jitters?
A little bit. I would say more like this. He was really good at making everybody feel at ease. He was just phenomenal. And so we did like a table read about 5 weeks before filming, and I was still like walking around 180 pounds, like, you know, working out. And I we did the read, and then they put us in groups. The director said, you go sit with Bruce and Olivia Williams, and we're going to talk about your scene. And so I'm sitting there with Bruce, and he was like, cool. He was excited. He was like, this is going to be good. You're going to be great. And da-da-da. And, I'm like, I got a lot of work to do. But I said, but Bruce, I have an idea. And this could have went really bad. But, and he was like, what's your idea? I said, well, I think the character is supposed to be what will happen to the young kid. So my character was Bruce's patient when he was Haley Joel Osment's age. That's what we learned in the movie. And this is why Bruce is so dedicated to Haley Joel Osment, is because he doesn't want Haley Joel to grow up like my character. He realizes by what my character says to him that he was an old patient and he failed as my doctor and didn't help me stop seeing dead people. So I said, Bruce, if it's written like the kid's got on like goth clothes and he's, got like just dark rock and roll t-shirt and like tattoos and this and that.
A little obvious.
Yeah, it just seemed on the nose a little bit. And I was like, if my character's coming to end your life and end his life, why is he hiding behind these clothes and bracelets and, all this like stuff? Why don't I just take it all off and just be naked in the bathroom when you discover me? I was full naked. And he was like, that's crazy. I think that'd be awesome. That makes total sense. And so I was like, okay, wow, well, he likes my idea.
You should have leaned back and been like, go tell him for me.
Right. No, well, the director came in to the room a few minutes later and Bruce goes, hey, Donnie got a great idea. And I was like, wow. It's like, it's nice. It was nice in that moment to know that I wasn't crazy and that I actually had a good idea, and he loved the idea. And then the director loved it. So that was part of the reason I went to, had they not, I ended up not being naked. I wore underwear because they wanted a PG-13 rating, which they didn't tell me till the day I showed up to film.
You would have done it nude.
I would have been fully naked. I didn't think that one through, man. I didn't think that one through. You're going to starve for 5 weeks and be naked. Your body starts to eliminate functions.
It would have made your wiener look even bigger, probably.
No, it would have been the worst. It would have been like getting out of cold water.
A malnourished wiener?
It was freezing on set.
My wiener needs a banana.
It was freezing on set, and I would have been malnourished. Yeah, yeah. It was like we were in Philadelphia. It was really cold weather, and I would have totally been so malnourished. Like, I didn't realize, like, bodily functions stop working. Your body, when I was starving myself. I would go without food for like 3 or 4 days. My body would shut down. And so, yeah, I don't know what would happen. But fortunately, they made me wear underwear, and they tried to make me wear the clothes after all. And I said, no, I just lost 41 pounds in 5 weeks. Jesus. I'm going to wear something, but be mostly naked. They said you could wear underwear, and that was it. That was the compromise.
I want to talk some. They're literally like waving outside, like where they're landing planes. You gotta go.
There's a traffic window. We gotta take it now, or you're gonna walk 10 miles to your next interview.
No, Donnie, it's been great. I hope you get to come back soon, man, and come on the show especially when Bobby's here. Old Boston guys, you guys will have a blast.
Bobby Kelly.
I'm gonna be I'm doing the Wilbur Theater in December, and man,
oh really?
I'm so excited for that Mike's Roast Beef.
I'm gonna check it out because I go up and back and forth to Celtics games, so I'll look for you.
Oh, please do, man. Yeah, and it's a great season 14, the final season of Blue Bloods, airing the final 10 episodes starting Friday, October 18th, 10 p.m. Do not miss it. It's such a great show, such a long-running show. That's a dream to get something like that, I bet, that you get to do this that long and enjoy your cast. It's The Bonfire.